The Max Headroom Incident, the creepiest TV hijacking ever recorded. Imagine you're watching television on a normal November night in 1987. The news is on. Nothing seems unusual. Then, suddenly, the screen cuts out. Static fills the television, and a strange man wearing a rubber mask appears. He's laughing, making bizarre noises, waving a fly swatter. No one knows who he is. No one knows how he got there. And more than 35 years later, nobody has ever been caught. This is the story of the Max Headroom Incident, the strangest television hijacking in history. To understand how bizarre this event was, we need to go back to the late 1980s. The internet didn't exist for most people. Cell phones were rare. Television was king. If something appeared on TV, millions of people saw it, which is why what happened on November 22, 1987, shocked an entire city. The incident took place in Chicago, and it began during a local news broadcast. At approximately 9:14 p.m., viewers were watching a sports segment on Chicago station WGN-TV. Sports anchor Dan Roan was discussing highlights when suddenly the screen went black. For about 30 seconds, viewers saw a strange image. A man wearing a Max Headroom mask stood in front of a moving metallic background. The figure didn't speak. He simply swayed back and forth. The audio was distorted. Then the station regained control of the signal. The broadcast returned to normal. At first, many people assumed it was a technical glitch, but station engineers immediately knew something was wrong. Someone had somehow overpowered their microwave transmission signal, and that wasn't supposed to be possible. Most people never heard about the first interruption. But later that night, things got much stranger. Around 11:15 p.m., viewers watching a local public television station suddenly lost their program. This time, the hijacker remained on screen for nearly 90 seconds, and what followed was one of the weirdest broadcasts ever recorded. The masked figure appeared again, only now he was talking, or rather, rambling. He made bizarre jokes, spoke nonsense, mocked television personalities, waved objects around, and behaved like someone performing an inside joke that nobody else understood. Viewers sat frozen in confusion. Some laughed, others were genuinely disturbed. The man seemed determined to be as random as possible. He jumped from topic to topic. At one point, he held a can of Pepsi. At another, he complained about television executives. The entire broadcast felt like a fever dream. Then came the strangest moment of all. The camera suddenly shifted. The masked man bent over. An unseen accomplice appeared holding a fly swatter. The accomplice proceeded to swat the man on the backside while he yelled dramatically. Moments later, the signal ended. The screen went black. The station regained control, and the mystery began. The next morning, television stations were flooded with phone calls. People wanted answers. Who did it? How did they do it? Why? The FBI launched an investigation. Engineers examined the recordings. Experts concluded that the hijackers likely possessed advanced broadcasting equipment. In 1987, that wasn't something most people had access to. The perpetrators would have needed technical knowledge and precise timing. They knew exactly when and where to strike. Yet, despite a federal investigation, no suspects were ever identified. No arrests were ever made. No one came forward. The case simply went cold. Over the years, countless theories have emerged. Some believe it was a group of broadcasting students pulling an elaborate prank. Others think it was an underground hacker collective. Some believe it involved former television employees seeking revenge. And, of course, there are more outlandish theories involving secret organizations and conspiracies. But none of them have ever been proven. The people responsible managed to disappear completely, which only made the mystery more fascinating. Today, the Max Headroom Incident remains one of the most famous unsolved media mysteries in history. Not because anyone was hurt, not because millions of dollars were stolen, but because it demonstrated something unsettling. For a brief moment, complete strangers hijacked one of the most trusted forms of communication in America. They interrupted live television, mocked authority, created confusion, and vanished without leaving a trace. Even decades later, the footage still feels unsettling. There's something eerie about watching a person behave so strangely, while knowing nobody knows who they are or where they went. More than 3 decades have passed. Technology has advanced. The world has changed. But one question remains unanswered. Who was behind the Max Headroom incident? Was it an elaborate prank? A technical genius seeking attention? Or simply someone who wanted to create the strangest television moment in history? Whatever the answer may be, they succeeded, because all these years later, we're still talking about it, and nobody knows who did it.